This is episode 248 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales, and today I'm joined by Marcel, just meh, Manzano, Will, totally wizard, Hagwood.
You're a wizard now, Grogu.
And Ryan, give me points, give me rules, Staniszewski.
Save us for Crossroads. I'd like new things and not just play old things.
All right, so as you guys know, we are now a couple weeks out from the Las Vegas Open, and I want to touch on kind of what Staniszewski was talking about, and I think in reference to what Marcel was mentioning. But this episode brought to you by our patrons. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for your patience. I was talking about I posted on Discord. I finished the Galaxy shipping. And I will tell you that was probably one of the hardest projects I've ever done for shipping wise. Some of your packages may have tiers on them, and you know what? You can treasure those if you can somehow reconstitute the moisture to those tiers. But it is what it is. So, Adepticon. I have some news. Not as much as you want, but as we've talked about, it's officially AMG supported. We're going to have Worlds invites, and we are going to take the opportunity to do some what I'm going to call throwback prizes. So, and actually, Ryan, you have your Space Jam shirt on. People who will be attending Adepticon, the Gold Squadron Grand Championship, will have some opportunity to get some Space Jam swag. Okay. You're going to have some Space Jam swag. We're going to have some Galaxy swag out there as well. There's plenty of people who maybe watched the Galactic Championship, maybe watched Space Jam, but didn't participate. You get have an opportunity to get a piece of that history at that. I got some of that stuff approved, and looking forward to have that available. And on top of that, if there's some Galaxy swag you wanted to buy, there'll be some of that stuff there as well. We'll talk more about that later. Our first topic is, I want to try to keep it short, guys, but it might end up spiraling out of control.
Don't let it happen. Don't do it.
Just a quick note. Use two hands when you use your templates. That's my suggestion.
Am I a joke to you?
No. I think if you need help, ask somebody to help. That's it. And I would recommend watching our quick tips videos, 10 ways to have a bad time playing X-Wing. Look at point number 5. And that's what I'll give you. Point number 5. I'll even give you guys a timestamp. Oh wait, no, that's not the right timestamp. Give me 1 second. For those of you who are in the chat, I'll give you the timestamp.
And I'm really tempted now to go look no hands and try and do something in X-Wing with no hands.
there you go. Just a reminder, guys. Use two hands. I think it's important for me. The dial is the template on the table are a translation to the dials, and the dial is sacred. So today we're actually going to spend some time diving into some more of the Pride of Mandalore and the upcoming Gauntlet and Razor Crest release. There's a bunch of cards we haven't had an opportunity to talk about. We've been so entrenched in LVO. Maybe you haven't been following along. Maybe you have. Maybe there's some combo wombos that you have thought of in the chat. Feel free to drop them in there, or if you're watching later on YouTube, put it on in there. We're going to go in chronological order. We're going to be hitting up some. We're going to start with the Gauntlet configuration. Is where we're going to be starting with. Let's go ahead and pull it up. Now we're keeping it real simple. Maybe you're not a Twitterer. I know I personally am not a Twitter person, but it is pretty easy to find these posts with the pictures and follow up here. So we're starting with the swivel wings. Hit us, Ryan.
All right, so this is the up side of the configuration. While you defend, roll 1 fewer defense die. After you fully execute a non-stationary stop maneuver, you may flip this card. So you do have to fully execute this to be able to flip it. And I think when we get to the other side of this card is the down position is after you execute a 0 stop maneuver, you may rotate your ship 90 or 180 degrees. If you do, you must flip this card. So it's kind of like the U-Wing. It's very similar to the U-Wing, except it does require you, like I said, on the first card, is you have to fully execute the non-stationary maneuver. Even if you do execute the non-stationary and you only partially execute it, you don't get to flip the wings from up back to down, getting your die back.
Yeah, I know one of the concerns on the initial seeing of the dial for the Gauntlet fighter was how is this thing going to turn around? And we as a cast were like, we're pretty sure it'll get some type of U-Wing-esque ability, and here it is. So here's the question, right? So you have a back arc on this thing as well. It's a large base ship. How often are you going to want to be using this in the scrum, especially when if you don't fully execute that maneuver, you're going to be down 1 agility? And are these things base 2 agility?
Base 2 agility, yep.
All right.
Yeah, I mean they've got enough. They've got enough health. I think what is it, 11 or something like that. They've got enough. Yeah, they've got enough health to survive a couple rounds that way. And if it gets you out of a tight spot, or if it gets you into a shot that you really need, I think you'll use it. But yeah, just the way that it's written out, it's definitely not going to be as often as you do with a U-Wing. And I don't even know how often you did it with a U-Wing. I think most people use the stop maneuver just mostly to stop and slow down versus stop and rotate. Especially depending on the initiative. Lower initiative ships probably use the stop rotate more often than the higher initiative, because the higher initiatives at least have some more knowledge of where everything's at. So I mean, I don't think it's not as good as the U-Wing, but it's not all that bad. And the ship itself is it's got a rear arc anyway, so even if you're kind of stuck a little bit, just you're fine. I guess that's the end of it. Just
I like your comparison to U-Wings. I think fitting this into a Rebel squad with Leia, getting those white stomps, also very beneficial.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that about the Rebel pilots, because they did release those Rebel pilots last week.
That's right. And then as we see later, if you have any interactions with stress, you could see yourself stopping quite often.
And actually, I think what this might have the one advantage over the U-Wings is that because you have the back arc, you have the chance to move past things instead of you're in a spot. If you want to keep any shot, you have to stop and maybe rotate. You could move past, and because you can also just completely rotate 180, you can count on your next turn to turn that around and start chasing.
I like it. Now, we did get a pilot that synergizes with this. Will, go ahead and hit that.
All right, this is an Imperial pilot, Captain Hark, and has the ability, this is Initiative 3, and has the ability, after you reveal a stop maneuver, if you are equipped with the swivel wings down, which would be in what position, Dylan? Go back a slide and tell me what swivel wings down is.
Agility up, ready to spin.
Okay. Okay, so ready to spin, exactly. So, assuming you're ready to spin, which obviously they are down, you must execute a 1 bank side slip, either way, left or right, of the same difficulty instead. After you execute that maneuver, you must flip swivel wings. So if remember the helicopter-like actions of the HMP side slips, you're going to be moving the front of your ship, but not going towards the enemy. This is crazy powerful, in my opinion. It is a must, but the positions this guy's going to be able to get into is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
It's crazy to think of a large base just going like a really.
I'm the
soft
HMP
wheel.
now.
So wait a minute. So after you execute that maneuver, you must flip the swiggle. So you start up with you start with it down, right?
Yep, which is you have all your agility.
You have all your agility.
Yep.
And then after you execute the maneuver, then you stop, you go to the side, and then you put the wings, you keep the wings in the same direction that they originated in anyway.
No, because it says you must flip the swivel wings down. It's weird that it has a directionary thing, but the swivel wings, you have to flip it to the other side as it normally would. So you're basically replacing almost the entire effect on the swivel down card, which tells you will flip it to the other side anyway.
Yeah, this is written so weird because if you're equipped with the swivel wings down, you must flip it to make the swivel wings down. Like, it's just written really funky. I don't like it.
No, you end up with the wings up then. You must flip the swivel wings down.
Yep.
It doesn't say you must flip the swivel wings down.
It's
the opposite of down
They
is up.
probably tried to avoid that syntax and just were like, you just flip the card.
This is terrible.
It goes yeah, exactly.
Oh man, yeah. This is.
They had space for one more line. They maybe could have given us a couple more words. Yeah,
I need a chart for this. I need like a schematic.
A schematic. We need a quick tips video on this one. It sounds like.
I mean, it's pretty simple that Hark can never pivot, can only slip.
Yep.
No spins, only slips.
Only the slip. Now, for anybody who, this is just a reminder of what that dial looks like when you think about that rotate, think about that side slip. I mean, I think Hark is going to be one of those pilots that has a high ceiling, low floor. Mm-hmm. High ceiling, low floor.
Chillin' guy asking the right questions here. When do you get to choose the side slip? And it's when you're executing the maneuver. Which is crazy. You do not have to decide when you set your dial. So you can
It's
go to
initiative 3 though, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, initiative. I mean, anyone that moves before you isn't going to have a fun time, especially when it's going to be a red maneuver anyway. You don't really care if you bump into stuff because when you execute a side slip, you execute it like a maneuver. You just take the side guide of the base and I can't imagine dealing with that. Try to do the side guide of a large base, bumping into something else with the 1 bank side slip. That more train tracks, but this
is going to be a nightmare in person to track those side slips
with that big ship model, of course.
Yeah, that's wow.
So
But yes, you will get to pick which way you want to go at your initiative.
Does Empire have a way to take actions while doing red maneuvers or anything like that? You basically have to be coordinated.
Oh yeah, this is an Imperial one, by the way. Anybody who's just listening, Imperial. With red maneuvers, I don't think so.
No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
No, probably just force or something.
All right. I mean, just arc dodging, right? Or arc creating. Like I can shoot you now.
Right.
Get in the kill box. Get in the box. All right. Let's stay on the Gauntlet while we're here. We're kind of jumping around the timeline. Let's jump to the Rebel gauntlets that we got. I want to hit those next. Here's those posts. So Marcel, give us our boy Ezra Bridger in that Rebel gauntlet fighter. Another large base for the Rebellion.
Easy B. 3. He's got while you defend or perform an attack, if you are stressed, you may spend the force to change 2 of your eyes to focus results to if evade or hit. Essentially 0 difference from his other 2 pilots. Exact same thing. Is it 2 pilots? Yeah, 2 other pilots.
Yep.
3 TIE Fighter, man. Come on.
TIE Fighter Sheath and attack shuttle. But hey, maybe people will actually fly this version of Ezra.
Because it's 3 attack dice? Is that what you're saying, that Ryan?
No, I mean, the attack shuttle has to be attack dice.
Chassis.
Yeah, I mean, a force with this much health and attack
and an easy red actions to take to stress yourself as well, either coordinate or reinforce.
Oh yeah,
or we just about the swivel.
Just reinforce, and you've got 2 focus or 2 soft focus on attack.
I think one of the issues you might end up with though is because it's going to be hard to stay. If you're stressing yourself, you're going to have to obviously be executing blue maneuvers but this is Ezra. He doesn't care. No,
man, you get Leia or Hera crew, you don't care. Stay stressed.
Sir, there is also a new title in this exact post that might help Ezra even further.
Is there a benefit for being stressed out?
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay, keep it in mind.
Here, we'll roll to it. Here we go. The Night Brother. Take it, Ryan.
Night Brother. This is a title and mod slot for just Rebel or Scum gauntlets. Is 2 charges, only 1 reoccurring or 1 you get back per turn. After you reveal a non-blue maneuver, if you are stressed, you may spend 2 charges to gain 1 focus or evade token. That's a pretty big deal, I think. Whether it's you're actually just doing the red maneuver, or after having done a red action a previous turn, having your white maneuvers open up to still getting you a token-based action. And one actually you don't normally get. You have the ability to put an evade on the ship with this title.
Think about the nuttiness of this with Ezra. The Ezra ship, and then Hera crew. I mean, you can literally just stop with 2 agility, just not do the flippy thingy. Just stop, have the force to use as a kind of a double focus or double calculate, and then on top of that, just be able to stop again and do it, and have a what do you get? No, you get an evade plus a double calculate.
You can gain 1 focus or evade token. If this is on Ezra, you're taking the evade.
Yeah, you're taking the evade, and then you've got the double calculate, single use double calculate for attack or defense, and you can just continue to do white maneuvers and red maneuvers. I mean, I guess there's a limit. Yeah, if you
Hera starts to hurt you, but
I mean, at some point you'll stop doing it.
What if you just had like Maul and Hate on your Ezra and just got
Scum
Force?
Yep, the Scum Maul gauntlet with this, obviously his original titled ship. I mean, granted, this isn't every other turn thing, but every other turn is really good. Still.
All right.
I definitely see this title hands down more expensive than the other one we saw, which was, I believe, Republican Separatist. It literally is just called Gauntlet. This one's way better.
The Night Brother. The Night Brother seems to be much better. Much better. Then the other rebel ones we get over here, we got Chopper, giving the same ability as in the VCX. At the start of the engagement phase, each enemy ship at range 0 gains 2 jam tokens. Now I think is the difference here. Does Chopper in the VCX just say ships, and
Nope,
now it
it's
says
the-
enemy, or had it always been the enemy?
It's
always been
the same
enemy.
wording. Yeah.
Oh, okay, same exact.
The only
wording.
difference is that it'll matter now with the bump rules because of in the past they're moving at initiative 2, so most likely things that were touching it were not taking actions anyway. Now
the value of Chopper's ability goes up, up, up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
well,
now
I-
you're if they take the stress focus, they're just getting the stress for no reason because you're just gonna jam it anyway.
Yeah, I'd realized that once I saw this Chopper again. I was like, oh, it's the same ability. And I'm like, wait a minute. In this world of the bump rules being changed to allow you taking that stressful calculator focus from your normal action bar, Chopper has a little more value for sure. At least a deterrent to stop that.
I do gotta say that art is amazing. By the way, go Chopper. And we got the Mandalorian Resistance pilot. It is the generic Initiative 2, the Clan Loyalist, and just like I believe most of the generic versions of this, it has it's unique. You can only bring one of this generic pilot.
A unique generic? Is that what you just said?
Yes.
So that actually makes me think of a couple of things. They're probably going to price it cheap enough to, they can price it cheap enough for you to bring it and not spam it. So that'll probably bring the price down a lot. But also, I'm just curious, do you guys think, similar to the generic fire spray in Separatist and Scum, where they're essentially the exact same ship at a different point cost, do you think the Initiative 2 Mandalorian gauntlets will be priced differently for different factions?
Oh, I see. I see
They're
what
probably
you're saying.
all priced 67 points. I do not want to face 3 of these. Please no.
Well, you won't because they're single pip.
Besides the Scum one, that's the only one that's unpipped right now. Is the Scum generic, which was previewed about I don't know a month ago now, maybe. It's the only unpipped gauntlet we've seen. That one might be the only one that is a little more expensive than the other generics because you can take more than one of the
And because
same one.
just Scum has access to so many breakable.
Yeah, Scum's crew
points,
slots.
yeah.
And if it comes with an illicit slot built in, yeah, that's going to be money
Well,
right
and
there.
then I think what the even the little flavor text on it was like, yeah, with these devices and bombs, and like, all right, okay, it's probably
Wait,
a
wait.
payload slot.
Sorry. I just thought
Well,
of
it
something.
should, yeah, because the Mandalorian crew or whatever, I assume is a payload.
Marcel's worried about something. What's wrong, Marcel?
I don't know what's wrong. It's probably good. So these things move fast, right? Their dial is like super fast.
They can't
They
be
want to
they're-
move fast.
It's a
I
large
guess
base ship.
If you count a large base ship
it's-
that can't do a one straight as fast, then yes.
Well, is it comparable to like the Shadowcaster?
I don't think it has a 5 straight, but it has just about everything else. Not the same blues though, but I think it has a 3
But
turn
it's
and a
got
2
the-
turn.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in the Empire, this one, like Captain Hark, whatever, they have access to Moff Gerard. So, I mean, they can be boosting. That's and also
True.
there's another one
Very
that says
fast.
if they do get bombs, you can drop a bomb and boost. I forgot which faction that one's for. But definitely Moff Gerard gives it a boost like every other turn. Like that'll get some speed on these things.
Yeah, it's blues. Looks like from what Dion pulled back up was the 2-1 banks, the 2 banks, and the 2 straight. It's 3 turns red. It's 4 straight is white.
Mhm.
And as we talked about, I mean, well, they can't be in the same faction. It's like, oh yeah, Ezra and the boosting Jared drive.
Yeah, because I mean,
You would
I
have
think
and I think we were talking about Cad Bane crew, where you drop a bomb, you can do a red boost.
That's true. Yeah, if they have a payload, get some thermals on there, start boosting a lot.
All right. Well, those were the rebel gauntlets. Hey, Marcel, real quick, do you have easy access to your focus? Right, your gain's a little hot, and you're peaking your microphone. If you could just turn it down.
I'm yelling.
No, it's not that you're yelling. It just sounds like you're focused.
This is an audio technical way of saying you're yelling.
I'm yelling. Okay, hold on. I got it right here. Is this better?
I don't know yet.
Testing.
That sounds better. That does sound
I'm
better.
yelling. Now I'm yelling. Am I yelling?
No, well, now that's probably turning red on your thing. All right.
Is this better?
Yes, it is better.
All right.
All right. While we're in the rebellion, let's go ahead and hit those rebel Fang fighters. Rebels go zoom. Will take it.
Yes, I am very excited about more 3 agility rebel ships. Let's go. First one, we got Fen Rao, still I6, still the Mandalorian protector. These Fang fighters, as a note, do all have the same Concordia face-off. While you defend, if the attack range is 1 and you're in the attacker's front arc, change 1 result to a evade result. But Fen Rao has a completely different ability because he's in the Rebels now, but it's equally as good. Before a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 engages, if there's an enemy ship in its front arc at range 1, that friendly ship may remove 1 non-lock red token. So now imagine with me, Fen Rao flying with a bunch of A-Wings. A-Wings like Sabine can focus boost into range 1. This would allow them to remove that red token as long as they're looking at somebody else. Obviously, other Fang fighters who want to activate their own Concordia face-off are going to benefit from this. The only problem is that it doesn't work on Fen Rao himself. Only friendly ships at range 1 to 2. So it is very strange to see a support ability on what we would consider an I6 ace.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably took the theme from the Sheathipede. It was a not aggressive ability. I mean, you could use it aggressively if you're willing to pay the points, but it was a support type of ability, and it seems like they kind of went with the same thing. But you have that option to like taking off stress. It definitly seems like a really strong ability.
Bender pointing out in our chat here, one of the strongest self-stressors in the Rebel faction, Janors. So basically, Janors can boost Fen Rao's attack. I'm the Scum Fen Rao now. And then when Janors engages, she can clear the stress and help somebody else out. Say another I5 or something in that list.
Oh, gross. Double Janors?
Double Janors.
Yeah, but you'd have to be jousting with that Janors to be at range 1.
Yeah, well, whatever. She's got boost, right?
I have a 4 dice range 1. Sure.
Yeah, she's coming up to party. Let's roll. Like,
Look,
yeah,
if we
that's
kill you
gonna be
first,
scary.
you can't kill Janors.
Yeah, I'm thinking, her, this Fen Rao, maybe Wedge.
No, Luke,
Luke.
that way you can boost, because that way you can boost Fen, then engage Janors to get rid of the stress.
Oh yeah, because you need another I5. You're right, not Wedge.
Yeah, and then boost, and then boost Luke's shot again.
Yeah, sounds great. All this sounds really good. Throw an AP5 to round out the list. Man, we got some solids.
That's a lot of dice.
I was gonna say, I don't know how you're fitting a 4th ship in that list the way it's being described, to be honest.
What? No.
Hope.
Luke is 60. Janors is what? 60.
Okay, fine. It's fine.
You know
Okay,
what?
fair enough.
Okay, 3 ships.
No,
It's
obviously,
just
I
initiative.
don't expect
You
to
throw
spend
Hera
much.
in there. Hera VCX.
No
So
way.
Hera VCX.
Oh,
Janors
yeah, there
and
you
Fen
go.
Rao. There you go.
Let's go. I'm a big fan.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, obviously there's more than that. With the new bumping rules, there's going to be a lot of people who are stressed, but it does remove any non-lock token. I don't think I know of any self-strainers in Rebels.
I mean,
not
if
off the
you
top of my head,
over
but
a gas cloud.
ooh, it's true.
Or an Ion, yeah.
Yeah, remove the ion token that you just got from the gas cloud. That could be huge.
Granted, depending on what's in the list, I don't know how many people are taking gas clouds with small base ships that often anyway, because of
Risky
the threat of
people.
that ion.
I'm actually starting to thinking that after LVO, I ran over. I did intentionally went over rocks enough to think like I would rather have that ion than a damage on a low health ship.
I will.
On a low health ship, yes. I probably would just take a bunch of the tiniest rocks possible. But granted, you had sensitive controls with most of your ships.
We played some games on Saturday where a player hit an ion cloud, hit a gas cloud with Darth Vader and ended up ionized 3 turns in a row. I don't
go over 3 different.
No. It was they clipped it. I blocked them into the next one, and then the template ran over the 3rd time. It was a bad time. It was a bad time.
Just let me go.
No. Alrighty, but yeah, there you go. Fenral, support Fenral. I think it's going to be really good. The question is if the cost is going to be right, because people don't play the Sheathipede Fenral because of how expensive it is. So we'll see where the value ends up being. And then we got Boudica Venge. Here, the Wrathful Warrior, an Initiative 4 Rebel Fang Fighter. After another friendly ship defense, if you are not depleted, you may perform a bonus primary attack against the attacker. If you do, after performing that attack, gain 1 deplete token. So, I mean, this seems really awesome if you're pairing it with lower initiative ships, right?
No, it's not about your squad. It's about their squad, because it's when a friendly ship defends. So it's if you're playing against Vader, Vader's gonna attack, before you, so you're gonna be depleted for your regular shot.
Right.
But if you're playing against low agility ships, even if all your ships already shot, when they're defending at the initiative of the opponent.
Got it.
So
Got it.
It's about if you're playing against initiative 4 or lower, which there's a ton of. Is when
you'll get an extra bonus off of that because you won't have to deal with the bad part of the deplete. But I'd argue it's good either way, because there's a few things happening. One, there's no range bonus for this at all. Like, you don't have to be within X range of a friend. You could be on the other side of the board, and your enemy ship just shot range 3 at one of your ships across the board. You can still take that shot.
Yeah, you can be on the other side, yeah.
Yeah, and this is a bonus primary attack that only after another friendly ship defense. So that's still in that initiative step. So Boudica could take a shot at the initiative that is higher than... I mean, it's not stopping the ship that just attacked, so it's not doing like any initiative kills like, say, a Nash Windrider could do and pick a target. It does have to be the other ship. But you're getting a bonus attack at your normal attack power. It's just your next attack after, if your bonus attack comes first, is only 1 dice less, which I'd still take. It's like saying, would you like a snapshot on your ship that can still be modified if you have another modification, or rolled natties the first time and it's in your entire arc? Sure, I'd take that any day.
It sounds like a great... Go ahead, Will.
If you're hanging out with Fen Rao, he could remove that deplete token as well.
That is an unlock red.
I like that. I think
Boudica is actually really good and could end up seeing, if a better value than Fen, more board time than Fen.
I think so. It sounds like an awesome flanker. It sounds really great. Like, hey, here's my squad. Shoot him, I dare you. you have this ship hanging out in the back. Like, go ahead. No, shoot him.
Would you like to turn your entire list on Boudica so that Boudica doesn't get the ability, or would you like to face the rest of my entire squad?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm thinking like Biggs and some selfless carriers, and just straight joust you. Like, good luck. Yeah. Would you want to shoot at the Fang, who's got a bunch of protection behind him as well? Or you just want to shoot at
really
Biggs?
Good at jousting too. That's definitely a good way to do it.
Concordia face off. Rebels get Concordia face off and Biggs. Let's go. All right, Boudica. That one so far out of all the Fang fighters for the Rebels has me. I think you're right, Stanley. It's going to end up getting the most board time, at least initially. All right. What do we got here, Ryan?
We have Dirk Ulodin. I3. Also a really good ability, I think. After you fully execute a red maneuver or perform a red action, which this has the normal suite of Fang actions, you may acquire a lock on an enemy ship in your front arc at range 1. Reposition, focus, lock seems really good to me. Or if I say was in a squad with Fenrao, and after I did my normal linked actions, I'd like to turn around, do a red maneuver. Look, I got rid of a red and I can turn around, or I just took a focus and next turn I can do a red maneuver and get an acquire lock. That's really good. Now, granted, it is on an I3 ship that won't always get the front arc at range 1. That target may not always still be there, but it's a free lock that can still be used elsewhere. So it's not a token that's being removed normally at the end phase. So I think this might also see more board time than Fenrao, depending on the points.
Man, these rebels, they got, man, what? Rebels always get cool abilities. What about, they got to share, man.
I will say, at least these cool abilities are at I3 and I4.
True,
not
true that.
I5 and I6.
True that.
Fenrao's ability is still good, but man, these are bangers.
All right, Marcel, take the Clan Ren Volunteer.
All right, the clan. Let's see. While you perform an attack at range 1, I had a joke there, but I skipped it. While you perform at attack range 1, I see William shaking his head. If the speed of your revealed maneuver matches that of a friendly ship at range 1, you may reroll 1 attack die. I mean, it's good. It's not bad. While you perform an attack at range 1, there's the first limitation, and then your revealed maneuver has to be the same as a revealed maneuver of your opponent. That's another one.
Oh no, of a friendly ship.
If the speed of your revealed maneuver matches that of okay. So
it's bro. Let's hold hands and joust. Is what this is. Let's hold hands and go together.
Clan Ren bros.
Okay, okay, now I get it. These two guys.
Hey, they can be sisters too.
So they're flying together.
true.
Yeah, they could be sisters. Yeah, you can't. Don't hate. Okay, that actually changes it. That makes it better. I mean, a reroll at range 1 is still very limited. But
I mean, you assume these guys could maybe take a talent, slap some predator on there.
No, I mean, then you got 2 rerolls. If you're gonna take a talent, might as well do something that marksman or something.
Marksmanship, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, marksmanship, fair.
But yeah, I mean, it's better than I originally thought when I thought you had to match an opponent. But matching yourself, or even you don't even have to take another volunteer. You can just match another ship. Doesn't have to be.
Well, I mean, if they're cheap, and I think that's why they put that double pip on there. They might. It feels as if they might be meant to go together, or at least in the, I don't know, the fluff, the design.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not compared to the other things that are available in the Rebels. I don't know how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
I might even be tempted to think that an X-wing is probably better than this. But if you're playing a game where you're trying to move fast and do all of that, then yeah, it's good. But it'll be, depending on the points, it's good, not great. Maybe in some situations the X-wing might be better.
I want to compare these to the Scum Fang fighters, obviously. Like Joy here being 47 points seems like a reasonable comparison. But then again, Rebels have access, more so than Scum, to sling evades onto these. We're talking just Hera in general, not even getting into weird Hera, Jin, Kyle, Garvin token passing. These things can get a lot of help regardless of like their initial abilities that just they didn't have access to for Scum. I mean, just evade tokens alone on these guys is game changing.
Maybe,
but I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, like imagine Hera following 2 of these volunteers and Bodok on a flank somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say evade tokens on the X-wing are good too. I mean, and you can get cannon on.
Yeah,
the
but these
Hawk.
guys got Concordia
You know.
face off. That's the difference. And 3
and natural
agility.
3 agility, where now their whole like please don't shoot me at range 2 can now be backed up by an evade if Hera can sling it.
I get it.
Marcel's
I
not.
get it.
He's never been a Fang fighter pilot.
No, I actually don't fly Fangs a lot.
I know.
I'm trying to think. It's just the Rebels have so many good toys that they have to be costed pretty well, or the list has to be built in a way to support these things. Because again, you catch one of these things, they're not surviving, and Rebels are built to survive getting caught out of position once or twice.
Rebels are actually built on hope, but we'll continue. I had to. You just come on. I had to. Oh man. All right. That was terrible. Let's continue in the Pride of Mandalore pack. We got a couple of new pilots. I'm getting booed in the chat. A couple of new upgrades that got revealed today, actually, for the Republic. So let's go ahead and hear that. Will, take the first one. And unmute yourself, and then take the first one.
Let's take the first one here with our words. This is a crew for the Republic. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, pictured here with Satine in that glorious Clone Wars armor. Obi-Wan has a force point. Shouldn't need to tell you that. But as the ability, after a friendly ship at range 0 to 2 spends a focus or evade token, you may spend 1 force. If you do, that ship gains 1 focus token. So very similar to his Aether Sprite original ability, with some notable differences. First off, you can only use it, assumingly, once per round, barring Yoda shenanigans. But also, it lets you spend an evade token, and it can get replaced with a focus token. Very interesting in a faction with Naboo starfighters, who can get free evades, or even, I'm trying to think of the Adas as well, have the white evade action, so it can get some use out of that. I guess Torrents do as well. I always forget those guys have a pretty good action bar. So a little bit extra flexibility there. Still restricted to the crew, which is, I believe, just the Lat Arc and R2D2 Y-Wing, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the eventual Gauntlet.
Oh, and the eventual Gauntlet. That's true. That's true.
But I will say probably the biggest restriction is you can't take Obi-Wan pilot now if you use this crew.
Very, very true. Very true.
Which is when the ability, the only real difference is the spend evade instead of the spend focus only for the pilot ability. I don't know if that's worth not taking Obi-Wan potentially and putting him on a crew carrier.
I mean, this feels like just an easy way to like essentially like a purple coordinate, but you get to do it during combat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has a lot of value still. If they just had Matt, I think it's gonna have to be the arc. Should see some value out of it, hopefully.
All right.
Or not arc, the Gauntlet. Excuse me.
The next one, next card here is Satine, who is on the other side, who is standing by Obi-Wan's side. I have a lore question for you guys after we finish going over this X-Wing card. So here we go. We have the Republic here, Republic crew for Satine. She's got 2 charges that are reoccurring. At the start of the engagement phase, you may spend 2 charges. If you do, each friendly ship may choose to gain 1 deplete token and a focus token, or to gain 1 disarm token and 1 evade token. So we already talked about the crew carriers that the Republic has, and this was, for me, is the disarm evade the more important side of this card compared to the deplete focus? Marcel doesn't agree. Will says
So
yes.
I got a quick question.
I do.
So
I
real
do.
quick question. At the start of the so couple things. One of them is the disarm matters because you have a way with Plo Koon to be able to take disarms off, so you can
Hmm.
benefit from joust with somebody, and then Plo Koon can pull that disarm off.
Okay, so you agree
you
with
make
this is
that choice.
another one of those situations where you agree with me and said no, but continue. Okay.
And the deplete. No, I don't know if I'm agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just giving you my thoughts. And then the deplete, you have obviously Houndstooth that can just take the deplete. So I mean, there's ways to make it a free, something free. And then of course, if you're running away, who cares if you got deplete or disarmed?
I have a rules question. If I'm already depleted and I have a second deplete, they only clear one at a time. That's how strain works.
Correct.
It clears
Yep.
one at
Right.
a time.
Works same as strain, and they don't stack.
Okay, because I was thinking like, well, maybe like a patience J wouldn't mind the deplete, but not if you can't clear both at the same time. So I do think the disarm for the evade token. We're talking like reload in Y-wings, 7th Fleet gunner, lats, aces who are just running away.
Actually, that's a really good one. Because you're not, you got the regen, you've got access to R2. I was thinking Plo Koon, but you also got access to R2.
Exactly.
And you've got
already weapons disabled.
Yeah, and if you're R2, that means you're probably trying to regen and you're in a defensive position anyway. And then the 7th Fleet gunner, yeah, because if you got a Y-wing with 7th Fleet gunner, it's probably going to be if you're recharging it every turn, it's probably going to be disarmed every turn anyway.
Yeah.
So just give it
Shoot,
a
have
free
it reload
evade every
and
single
dropping
turn.
bombs, like whatever. Like I get 3 reloads. Who cares? Like at that point,
so you
right?
can reload, boost somebody's ability, and have an evade every single turn.
Well, not every turn. Every other turn you'll get an evade.
Why every other turn?
It's
There's
2
2
charges
charges.
and only
Oh,
one
the
recurs.
charges,
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of possibilities. I think with the disarm there.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of good defensive tech overall and controlling, because its start of engagement phase is a very powerful decision point. It's not as perfect as Hera, for example, but can't make it that good. I don't know where the cost on this feels weird. In the design, I don't know. My concern is this just makes turns in the game where you're so defensive that turn in the game just is kind of a stall turn. It's what Satine is. She's a passive.
She's a pacifist,
character, right? I get that. I hope, even though Republic is a faction that is on the low end of the tier list, I guess, so far, and it has sort of proven itself because it has trouble developing consistent, strong offense without 7B deltas or without Arc 170s. We know this, right?
Good point. Yeah.
I just hope they don't go too far into the defensive spectrum to where we're in games where there's barely any offense, there's only a couple spikes here and there, and then it's just Satine and Ada's or Plo, and it's like you're never doing damage to these. Like every other turn, it's all right, I don't know why I'm shooting this because Satine gave it another evade. It might already have one as it is, or it's stacked with force evades and focuses.
Oh man, was Shakti holding extra evades as well? Yeah, that could be good.
So like, what if in the first 2 turns of engagement, the turn before you use Satine, Shakti helps you keep some stuff around. You're recharging Satine on the turn you're going in that Shakti's help kept things going, and then the second turn you're reloading your stuff back up. Now, granted, you still have to put some offense together, but now with objectives and scenarios, you're going to stay around those objectives a whole lot easier with stuff like Satine and Shakti and Plo. Plo Koon, I think, is going to be definitely a key pilot to work with Satine to help maybe manipulate still being able to shoot, or it's not even just taking the disarm from someone else that you want to shoot and put it on Plo Koon. It's also Plo Koon who could take the disarm and pass the evade off.
Mm-hmm. That token manipulation. That's definitely becoming a. I mean, it's a great piece for the Republic. All right, here is my Star Wars fluff question. So if y'all don't know, in the Clone Wars, they kind of point that Satine and Obi-Wan were maybe kind of a thing for a while, even while Obi-Wan was a Jedi. Okay, so question: did they ever hold hands? And I'm actually saying hold hands. Hold hands? Kiss? You think there was kissing involved here? Will's like, yeah. I think so. I think
He's a Boy Scout.
like
No.
the way I look at
What?
it is Obi-Wan let Anakin get away with having a secret wife, and you don't think that he was like, because I know what I did when I was younger. Come on.
Well, yeah, Obi-Wan knew. Obi-Wan,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
what?
the
You think
whole time.
Anakin was hiding the? Just gonna hang out with Padme.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, like, oh yeah, why wouldn't you? No, Obi-Wan knew.
There
for
was
sure.
emotional attachment for sure.
Oh yeah,
Which is crazy to think. And this is why I think it helps just secure Obi-Wan as the best picture of what a Jedi is. Even through everything he went through with the prequels and the Clone Wars, he still is a full, true, like, Jedi, right? Even everything he went through with Anakin, Satine, the entire Jedi Order, all that stuff. So even more solidified it with the addition of the Satine storyline with him in Clone Wars.
Spoilers if you she dies. All right, here we go.
I said my words still, so I didn't have to say that.
That
All
was like 60 years ago, right? A lot of people. Died
That's what I'm
since then,
saying.
all right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you haven't watched it by now, you don't get to cry now because now you know it's coming. Or maybe you still do. I cried. I did. I can't help it. Marcel, we got Corky, Chris. Chris, what do we got here?
All right. After a friendly ship in your for the Republic, after a friendly ship in your front hemisphere, I don't know what you call it.
The front full arc.
Yeah. At range 1 or 2 becomes the defender. You may transfer 1 green token to it. While a friendly ship in your front full arc at range 1 or 2 defends, if you obstructed the attack, the defender rolls 1 additional defense dice. So it's basically a built-in. While a friendly ship in your
Tactical scrambler. Yeah,
it's not even a tactical scrambler.
It's
because
half a tactical
It's a
scrambler.
reverse tactical scrambler because they're shooting a ship in front of you. They're not shooting through you; they're shooting a ship in front of you. While a friendly ship,
It's
No,
a
but you
weird
still
thing
have
to
to
try and put
obstruct.
together on the board, but yeah, it's
yeah,
Yeah,
well, a friendly
they're-
ship in your
the
front
enemy's
arc-
behind you, and the friendlies in front of you, and
No,
they're
no,
shooting
no.
through you.
or both are on the side, right?
No, it
Yeah.
could be that you're in the back. You're in the back. They're in the front, and the enemy's in front
No,
of that. and
it still
they're-
has to
No.
obstruct the shot. If
Does
you
it say
obstruct
that?
the attack,
Oh, if you obstruct the attack.
yeah.
Oh.
So that's goofy. That probably will never happen. That will be
Yeah,
a
you have to be
miracle.
flying in reverse or
happens.
something. You're like Joey
Well, I mean,
riding in the back.
you're a lad
what's
shooting
up?
side arcs. It could probably happen.
Yeah, I'd say definitely the first half of this card is what's going to matter more.
Yeah. Which is super crazy because you could be throwing all sorts of green tokens.
Yeah, I wanna reinforce,
Reinforces,
throw a reinforce
calculates.
whoever's going to be just jostle
They
with
have
somebody and
they have
reinforce them, yeah.
C3PO crew, so you could definitely throw some calculates forward. Reinforce actions. I mean, we just talked about a bunch of ways to get evade tokens, so you can really be slinging around anything you need to with this guy.
I'm the Hera now. I mean, it's in that it's I guess it's not in the modification window, which is the difference. You don't know if you need it. Reinforces. I mean, if you're willing to pass the reinforce, willing to have done the action to have that available for an important piece, that reinforce definitely ends up triggering almost every time, as long as there's something out there.
Shakti says specifically focus and evade, right? Right.
To hold, yeah. But you can't be holding reinforces around.
I'm just making
Get
sure.
out of here. Get out of here.
The end phase and may choose a friendly ship does not remove. Yeah, one focus or evade. Okay, good. I just
would
had
have
to
been
make sure.
double
There wasn't a lot
reinforcing
of
lats.
There wasn't a lot
lot.
of reinforce in Republic before. All right. Just wanted to be sure.
All right. Yeah, that's a goofy one. We'll see how much use it ends up getting. All right. And there you go. Those are those Republic upgrades. Now let's hit some Mandalorian. Doody 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 doody.
I'm gonna be watching that whenever I have my shift kind of taking care of Ollie throughout the day when I got a break at work and Sarah needs like just a break in general.
Yeah.
From being mom.
Yep. Yeah, so here we go. IG-11. This is a cool card. I'll tell you that. It's pretty neat. Double-sided. Set up. Equip this side face up. Before you would be dealt a face-up damage card, you must place one fuse marker on this card and gain one calculate token instead. Then, if there are two fuse markers on this card, flip it. Quick note, I find it interesting the use of fuse markers as just like a counter. Essentially, like that's really its only purpose in this case is just a countdown till it flips over to the other side.
Yeah, if it was charges, it might be able to be manipulated with Cutthroat.
Yep.
Some other shenanigans like that. So to simplify it. Plus, it's so thematic, right? Little fuse markers coming down.
Yep, and it's Scum only, by the way. Not sure if we got that. And then
So wait on that one.
oh, going
Before
back.
we gloss over it.
What?
So I'm trying to think this is actually really good on low health ships that can take
Who don't like crits?
Like
well,
a
not that,
Razor
who don't like
Crest
crit.
has all that juicy hull.
No, because it says. I mean, let's think about what the consequences here. Before you would be dealt a face-up damage card, you've got to do one of these, and then you get, you place a fuse marker on this and gain one calculate. Then, if there are two fuse markers on this, flip it, and then when you flip it, you die, right?
Well, we didn't get to read the second half. Something happens.
Well, you die.
Let's read the second half.
Yeah, because
Tell us what it says, Marcel.
yeah, the spoiler alert side of it. During the end phase, remove one fuse marker from this card, which includes the turn where you received it.
Right.
So the turn where you received, even if you got two of them in that same turn, the turn that you received it, then if this card is during the end phase, remove a fuse marker from the card. Then if this card has no fuse markers on it, you are destroyed. And each other friendly ship at range 0 to 1 suffers crit damage. Place one fuse marker on this card. Action. So you can keep taking actions to keep yourself alive a little bit longer. So what I was saying is, when you were saying that the Gauntlet, has a lot of health, or some of these other ships, let's say the YV666, if you end up taking two crits early, it's very likely that you're dead with 6 or 7 health left. So that's the first thing I was going to say is you probably want to put this on something that has low health. I'm thinking even something like an escape craft. You can carry, if you got a coordinating escape craft, you can ditch a couple. You can basically buy yourself a little bit of time and ditch a couple damage, kind of like impervium plating, because you don't have that much hull.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, of course, you can match this up with Deadman Switch, and then you have a damage and a critical damage to kind of double the fun if it does, going off, and you can choose where it goes off. But
I think the sad part is what the crit would happen first from IG-11, not the
Would it?
Dead Man's, right?
I don't think so. What does it say? It says
This card has no few markers. You are destroyed each other's ship and range.
you are
Doesn't
destroyed,
Dead Man switches during the combat phase, isn't it?
No,
Dead
just
Man
after
switch
you are
in.
destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Deadman
You're
switches after you're destroyed.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're destroyed at.
Can you
and-
choose?
So you choose when it happens, because if you are destroyed, then you choose.
Yeah, but
they'll go
that's
into
also a
queue and you
single
choose.
sentence though that says you are
Yeah,
destroyed
it's-
and each other, blah blah blah. So I can see it
I
going
think
either way.
IG-11 is the triggering card, right? That have to happen first, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll leave
Yeah,
that
but it
to
Marcel-
happens
you.
at the same stage. But I
I
think
do
Deadman
think you're-
Switch and this is 2 damage together. I would think.
It's still 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd want the regular damage from Dead Man's first, and then the crit. Those people. I think you're right though on the ships with low health. I think one that actually fits it really, really well, because there is still the last clause on the back end, which is action place 1 fuse marker on this card to kind of slow it down if you need to. Ships that tend to be very free with their actions, that have a decent shield to hull ratio, but the hull's generally pretty on the low end. I think Hawks, Paylob especially. You're Moldy Crow, you're stacking tokens, you're stealing tokens. You can hold off. If you took 2 crits on the ship, it's got 1 health left, right? It's got
Mhm.
boost, which is really good to get into that range 1 for that explosion. I think Hawks are a pretty good spot for something like this, in particular Paylob for sure.
Agreed. And one piece of information I want to just clear up is just a reminder that IG-11 cannot explode the same turn that this was flipped. It is always delayed 1 turn. Because you end up with 2 fuse markers, right? So it's if there are 2 fuse markers on this card, flip it face up, because that's from 2 crits. And then during the end phase, remove 1 fuse. And the trigger is if there are no fuse markers. So you do have the possibility of just being killed and this never triggering. Like, that is a possibility.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, what I was saying is that you lose the first fuse marker when you don't die the turn that you're
Right,
taking
exactly.
both, is that you lose a fuse marker the same turn that you take the
Right.
second one.
The timer's
So
at
basically,
1.
Yeah, so it basically gives you 1.
1 turn, yeah.
Although, yeah, Chilling Guy in the chat does remind us that even though we've taken 2 crits, you don't take that damage. You just straight get rid of that card and gain a calculate instead. So if anything, you still don't lose any of that hull damage. But I think if you're trying to get the most out of timing this, trying to make sure that you have a ship that's free with their actions, that has its own passive modifications, whether it's from force, stealing tokens, getting tokens from someone else, will help slow the explosion from IG-11.
I still like the Paylob call though, Ryan. I still think that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a ship that still fits. Kanan Hawk as well.
That's the
right.
this is going to create the best moment in Star Wars, when it's just the IG-11 ship on the board, and he gets the kill before the end phase to blow up. That would be amazing. Though I'm pretty sure in tournament rules, I think you play out the round till the end phase. So that might be final salvo.
Yeah, I think it still ends up being final salvo.
Yeah, this can also
I'll give you the
be-
win, though.
I was going to say, this can also be a completely similar to Impervium Plating, like a completely dead card. Like, you can take it to a 6-round tournament, and you never take a crit that matters.
Yeah, your quad jumper just dies to 5 hits, and
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you spent
was
all these
great.
points on nothing.
like,
I mean, I don't expect this to be that expensive. Yeah, I know you're you're completely nullifying 2 crits to turn into calculates for you, but man, just saying your ship explodes as soon as those 2 are gone.
if only Scum had a way to encourage your opponents to crit you by, say, giving them a free crit mod. That's right. I'm talking about Greedo Gunner.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
but you need double crew, and the only ones that can do that are
Greedo's a
lot of
gunner.
help.
Greedo's a gunner.
what is it?
So we're talking Jump Masters and Houndstooth. YTs, Han and Lando.
Okay. They
I
might.
think the Namlam one makes sense.
Namlam. Yeah.
Or
He's a large
wait,
base.
wait.
It's going to be good.
How does this work with Tel
Tel'Travera.
Yeah.
You're not destroyed. That's how it works.
So basically you
Tel's
count
not
off,
destroyed. Yeah.
but
and it
you
says-
die the next turn anyway. You die twice then because it's
No, because it
keep
says
everything the same.
you are destroyed.
Yeah, but then
And
this
then
card is
instead
still
of
facing.
destroying.
Yeah, but this card is still. It's still facing the same direction.
Yeah,
this
you still
card.
I see what
comes
you're, I
back
see what
with
you're saying.
everything.
You get 1 round.
No, yeah, because you
Yeah,
got
Tel
no
gets
fuse
1
markers. Yeah, or
Yeah, all right,
you're
okay, I see what
actioning
you're
a
saying.
fuse
Yeah,
every
you
turn.
have to start actioning to put the fuses back
You're
up.
like, okay, I'm a bomb.
I'm a bum, actually. Yeah, I guess so. Why
Actually, that
not?
might be fun.
All right. So there's the IG protocol. Marcel Q90.
All right, we're going to this guy. Initiative 5. After you fully execute an advanced maneuver, you may perform advanced maneuver is just basically one of the like talon rolls or something like that, right?
Talon
And
rolls,
zero stops.
zero
sloops,
stops, sloops, and
K-turns.
K-turns.
Gotcha. You may perform a calculate or double stress yourself with a barrel roll action, even while stressed. If you do, you gain a strain token.
You won't double stress yourself because just like on the system phase boost on the FO bombers, it just says perform a calculate or barrel action. When it's on the card, doesn't state a color, it's white.
Oh,
Correct.
Okay, fancy. Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good then. A barrel rolling medium base ship after it performs a red maneuver is pretty good.
And all of
Yeah.
its advanced maneuvers are the 5K, very powerful. The zero stop, both of those on the same dial, you got to pick, right? Your opponent's got to try and figure out which one you're going to do. And even on top of that, you have 2 talon rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it
with
can be anywhere.
throw some contraband cybernetics in there as well.
At initiative 5 on top of all that, yeah.
Man,
And throw
you really
a
get some
force
arc on
carrier.
people.
Throw a force carrier on there so you have some type of soft mod on.
Ooh, barrel roll Tiger Lock's force.
Spicy.
Fancy.
I'm curious why they even because there is the even while stressed. Why did they even call it an action? Like, I'm just curious. Just like from the.
Or else you could contraband a double barrel roll.
Okay, that's that. You're right. So that you can't perform more than one. You're right. That was it.
That would be awesome.
We
I'm
ain't
going to
doing it.
5K and then end up over there.
5K barrel over, yeah.
Well, I'm going to stop and then go here and then go there.
All right, we got it. We got
It's
it.
about to become a 2-turn with like a boost and then like a 190-degree turn.
I mean, though honestly though, the stop, the I5 stop and then barrel roll is going to be pretty good too, because you could, in theory, in second edition 2.5 rules, someone runs into you and you say, "Nah, I'm good," and just barrel roll off of them to shoot them at range 1.
Seems solid.
Yeah, seems pretty good.
And Marcel, I think you, or even Will, may have flown in the past when you had advanced sensors for LOM, when you got the barrel roll action from the Mist Hunter, how good that zero stop with the barrel roll is. This time, though, like, you get that action, and I think, so the Razor Crest title, if you remember back, that had a barrel roll link to evade. I don't think, because you're stressed, unless you have contraband, right?
You need contraband,
Yeah.
but then you'd be double stressed and sad and strained. Maybe not sad, but you'd have a lot of bad tokens.
Probably.
What I will say about this guy, I like how you're going to get the I5 initiative, but at a discount because he only has the calculate action. I really like that. This guy's going to be surprisingly cheap, I think, because of it.
Do you think, is there a chance we see Zero more than Mando?
I think that's always a chance.
All right.
I think
If it's affordable.
Same initiative. I mean, what? I mean, Django
It's a
Zam.
great ability.
Not as too high of a degree, but we saw Zam ended up being more popular than Django, and it was Django fetch slave won the ship. So anything can happen. I think this is a good option for the Razor Crest chassis.
All right. So, one thing somebody just reminded me, and I want to make sure I have the right dates here real quick. We have wanted to shout out for my good friend Steven of Dad Gaming. He's got he's running an event, the Cherokee Open. It's in North Carolina, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I would check it out. Links and all the information is in the non-GSP community post section. So go ahead, check that out. Again, that's the Cherokee Open, and they got a bunch of different cards and things like that, participation cards that they're going to be giving away. And again, that's in North Carolina. So go ahead, check it out. All right. So let's go ahead and there's the dial we were talking about. Jeez, man. Zero's gonna pop off.
I think Zero's good. Isofane mentioned in the chat, and I was trying to remember what the combination I really liked was. L3 crew, if you guys remember, the one side forces an opponent to reroll their attack dice. And when it flips over, you get all your bank maneuvers are easier to do, none of which are normally blue.
That's money. That's bang for your money right there. And how many? It's 7-2, right? The
Yep.
the stats on
Yep.
the 7 hull 2. Yeah, so it's really easy to get to that because it's after your shields are down, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's easy to meet that threshold. So
Value.
Yeah, it is a really
Threshold
good
for
one.
what?
threshold for L3.
for
L3 is
L3.
only when your shields are down.
Oh, okay. I thought it was once you use the front side.
No, once you use
Shows
the
how
front
much I
side and then your
card.
shields are
It's
down.
both. It's both. That's why. But normally, if you flipped L3, you've defended enough that you're probably shields down.
Yeah.
All right.
Surprised I don't see L3 more. Secretly pretty good card, I think.
It pops up every once in a while, and
Yeah.
it's either money or does nothing.
It's always money. I mean, you're always going to run into that situation where an unmodded ship just does like 3 crits on you, and you're so
It's like, yeah,
just-
nah.
Or just a
no.
ship that only has a target lock mod. If you tell them to reroll them, they can't reroll them.
Yep.
You only reroll them once.
All right, and we got one last set of cards to take a look at. It's a little bit more Razor Crest. Will, we have some unique generics.
Oh, a unique generic.
Wait,
I think
they
those are
generics
called
if they're
limited.
unique?
I believe
Are
those
we-
are called limited ships still, but
I mean that's the joke.
They're
Right.
generically unique.
That's it. There it is.
yeah, there you go. All right. Anyways, next on the docket here, get L3 out of there. These 2 pipped limited pilots, the Initiative 3 Guild Bounty Hunters. These say, while you perform an attack at attack range 1 to 2,
Yep.
you may spend 1 non-recurring charge from one of your equipped illicit upgrades to change a focus result to a crit result. So let's read the first part again. An attack at attack range 1 to 2.
Just go ahead and just don't even. This is. When have you ever had to clarify attack range and an attack?
Range
It's
0 attacks.
just telling you you can perform any type of attack, primary or secondary, but it has to be at range 1 to 2, not 0, not 3.
Yeah, can't be attacking at range 3 or 0. Exactly.
But why can they just put while you perform an attack at range 1 to 2?
Because medium bases are goofy, Dion, and you could be at range 2 and shoot at an attack at range 3.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know why, but yeah.
You're talking about the plastic.
Math.
Yeah, the plastic. You could actually be at range, yeah, like I said, be at range 2, shooting at range 3. But for some reason, this ability was too powerful to be at range 3, so they had to nerf it. But that's okay. What we need to look at then is elicits with charges. The current ones we have are Cloaking Device, Contraband Cybernetics, False Transponder Codes, Overtuned Modulators, the Rigged Cargo Chute, because this is a medium-based ship, and Babu Frick as well would be the non-recurring illicit charges. I mean, your best value there is probably Cloaking Device because you get 2 charges for 3 points. But it is unique though. So even though you can bring 2 Guild Hunters, you can only bring 1 Cloaking Device.
Do we think these get talent slots to get cut?
No, you got to do
Or
Babu
is that
Freak.
too
That's
easy?
your points.
Sorry, what'd you say, Ryan?
Do these get talent slots to put Cutthroat on them, or is that too easy?
No, you got to. The Cutthroat Bounty Hunters, man. Yeah. I think Cutthroat is a must. Sorry, what were you going to say though, Marcel?
No, I was just saying Babu probably gives you better.
Babu's
7.
3 for 7.
7 points, yeah.
You're paying more than 2 points per charge though.
Mm.
Whereas Cloaking Device only a charge or 1.5 per charge. I don't know. Here's my question to you guys though. Like other than Cloaking Device, which probably fair, would you give up any of the other elicits for a single, basically calculate modifier?
It's situational. I mean, the other one, if you're, I mean, it'd have to be like 1 point or something, like really low like that, right? It's like a throwaway.
Oh, a throwaway elicit? Yeah, but there isn't any though.
Isn't that the one that you stop at low initiative not that expensive?
Oh, but it doesn't have a
Inertial
charge though.
Doesn't have a charge? Oh.
No, because it uses your shields.
They spend charges. They're just other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it outside of an emergency situation where you're like, I need a crit here. You have a fuel leak, it could win me a game, and I haven't haven't used my overtuned modulators, which maybe seems like if you just want like a well-rounded card that might have some utility in both ways.
I think people are sleeping on overtuned modulators.
It's really good for sure. But also remember, I believe it was in the interview Flybetter had with some of the developers of AMG that they talked about the capture the flag, basically the snatch and grab. That when a ship has an objective held on them, a crit will knock it off. Generating crits might be worth it. I don't know if on this chassis in this ability, but it's there.
I mean, if you're bringing tools, to win the games.
Hopefully they'll come with some illicit that's got a bunch of charges on it. You would normally have to use like, I don't know, a bunch at a time, I guess. Ooh, it's not illicit though. But I am excited about this card though, Dion. Which one is it? All right. Burnout Thrusters. This is not a illicit, it's actually a modification for Scum small and medium ships only. Burnout Thrusters has 1 charge and gives you the slam action. After you perform a slam action, you can you lose 1 charge. Then you may gain a deplete token to remove 1 disarm token. And it says if your charge is inactive, you cannot perform the slam action. Very, very similar to the Black One title for the T70, but instead of an ion, this gives a deplete, which is way better, I would assume, for most ships. And smaller or medium ships is so many ships for Scum. The fact that this isn't unique as well, you can put this on a bunch of fun ships. Man, the combinations are a bit ridiculous. The one that comes to my mind was Slave One Boba Fett. Can change his 3 bank to the other 3 bank and then 3 Talon roll. Good luck guessing where he's going.
I just hope Scum Slave 1 doesn't exist because it's a dial changing thing.
Oh, sure. Maybe not in standard, but like I said, that would be the extremes of it. Other things would be like talking, I don't know, quad jumpers as well. They could really get into some tractor beam scenarios.
I think this might be good on M3As.
Well, you can't track
you're talking Quinn Jest, aren't you? Quinn Jest is the M3A that can get charges back for equipped upgrades, so you can actually use this every single round.
Vroom vroom.
Yeah, very fast. Sorry, I cut you off, Marcel. What were you saying?
Sorry, how do you get the charge back?
Quinn Jest takes a weapons disabled at the start of combat, which means about nothing because you're already weapons disabled from slamming. So
no, I was saying
it never goes away.
No, I get what you're saying. I was gonna say something, but now I completely lost it because you got me on the Quinn Jest thing. Quinn Jest,
you got a favorite Scum smaller medium ship that could slam? Don't say Hawk because it's always the true answer is always Hawk.
And you know who really doesn't
I was gonna
care
say
about
that. Sorry, I was gonna say that you need, for the things that you were talking about, you need advanced slam on them. Because you were saying like the tugboats can get like in some weird tractors.
Oh yeah, you probably coordinate them, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you need some
or advanced slam. Quinn Jest doesn't have a mod slot, so no advanced slam. Or not a mod slot. It doesn't have double mod slot.
Oh, Kirax fighters when they become standard.
You got one really good slam. You could even put what is it? Coaxium hyperfuel.
What? I don't even know what that does anymore. We haven't talked
there used
about
to be
it.
a fireball only one because it was the only ship that had illicit and a slam action on the action bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 point.
Yeah, Talonbane as well. That's a great call actually from Imperial Ace. Some people who like to go range 1. The coaxium hyperfuel is really ridiculous. You should not don't invest in that.
Probably unnecessary. No, actually, I think a ship that doesn't care about the deplete token because its effect matters more on the shot and has a really good ability to get around the board. If you all have rocks on the board, imagine putting this on Seavor. Like just slamming through rocks.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about taking the deplete. Just jam someone. Sure.
I like it. Captain Seavor is a menace to society. All right. Burnout thrusters. I think we're going to be seeing this one out there for sure. All right. Last one here, Ryan. Hit it.
We have the illicit tracking fob. It has 3 pips on it, so you can only take 3 of these, and you must be a bounty hunter, which currently has a weird definition, not weird definition, has a certain subset of pilots, which we'll get to. Why, I did keep my list neat. All right, we'll get to that later. Setup. After placing forces, choose an opponent. They assign, so your opponent assigns the marked for elimination condition to one of their ships. They must assign it to a limited ship if able. So that the if able will help say it still gets assigned to something in case everything is a generic ship in the list. Next part is you ignore range restrictions while acquiring locks on the ship with the marked for elimination condition. So the condition is only one of these. So similar to the fearsome predator tri-fighters, you could have up to 3 things with the core part of the ability, but there's still only one enemy ship that is going to be taking the condition. So while you defend, this is the ship that's marked, if the attacker is equipped with the tracking fob and has a lock on you, you cannot spend green tokens. Now, specifically a spend, so it won't affect a reinforce, for example.
You're going to make some Republic people and Rebels sad.
Just put it on the national
I'd say Republic actually probably feels mostly fine because they have force, but I mean,
True
they
that.
still like their evade tokens and focus tokens when they need it. So this could be really, really good. But let's currently, based on the PDF, the ships that can equip this card that are black box. I just focused on that for my list for now, since that's likely going to be our standard ships we play with. Let's get the kind of the big one out of the way. Boba Fett with the maybe, for me, I put in parentheses, Boba Fett maybe. It says hunter in his classification, not bounty hunter. Don't know if that's a typo or if that's meant to be that way, so he's not a Mandalorian or a bounty hunter. He's something completely different that they can help rein in. This
He
is Boba
intends
Fett's
to rule with respect. That's all we know.
Kashka Frost, the generic fire spray scum bounty hunter, Dengar, Manaru, Namlam, Bosk, Lots Razi, and Katos Lichos. Technically, Quinn Jast is also a bounty hunter, but he doesn't have the illicit slot. Those
Just a
are
few
the
of them up
ships
there.
that can get tracking fobs.
Mm-hmm. Man, this is going to be an interesting one. Interesting one for sure.
Do you think we've seen triple generic fire sprays and scum work before? If they can all fit tracking fobs,
snap! Oh yeah,
It's true. Could be pretty good.
I
We'll
like
see.
that.
I had to think tracking fob is going to be real expensive. You get all
it's
the
really
benefits
good to have
of
like unlimited range lock.
right. So free lock action. We could just say that, right? Like
Yeah,
essentially a free lock action.
I'm the Jendon now.
Yeah. And
Specifically
then
on
you
the one
get
ship that you have marked.
and then you essentially get the equivalent of like juke, right? Where you're preventing a modification for your opponent. Not exactly the same, especially if they have a lot of tokens or roll like a lot of eyeball results or something, but still like juke's like a 7-point upgrade with restrictions, and E-wings really pay for those long range locks. So I feel like this has got to be expensive. So I'm not sure why they triple pipped it though. I guess they didn't want to spam a bunch of Z's with it or something.
I think the idea is that thematically they pass it out to the most worthy hunters of the guild to go after this special marked target. I don't know.
I
It also might be
C95s.
similar, like what you said when they tested out Kalani, the tactical relay. They put 3 charges on it that can be give back every turn, because they found that allowing it on every ship in a list to occur all the time was just too good. So having some limitation, even though there's multiple uses.
All right. Well, there we go. So that was a slew of pilots and upgrades that are upcoming in the upcoming releases. We know that the releases have been pushed back, I think, now a couple of times. Shipping still sucks everywhere. So hopefully we'll know soon. I'm really hoping that we have these this new the Razor Crest and the Gauntlet for Adepticon, because I'd love to see some of those new shinies on the table. And I know once we get points, you'll see them on Tabletop Simulator and Vassal. People trying them out. So we'll get that going soon. So here's my question to you. You know, we've talked about a lot of the new stuff. Anything? Is there any specific pilot or upgrade that's got you excited, that you want to really start to dig in? Maybe you could build a list around it, or add a new trick to your arsenal.
I mean, for me, it's got to be those Rebel Fangs. From what I've seen, like E-Wings be able to do with like 3 agility and a little bit of chunkiness, mixed in with how successful A-Wings have been in the Rebels as well. Man, I think those Fang fighters are going to slot right in to a lot of builds.
Marcel?
Honestly, the point. It's not any of the ships. I'm just, just the points in the rules, because even with like all these new toys, Rook, if you're like talking about one, probably Rook is the one that excites me the most. But
Okay.
even that, like without knowing what the points and rules are, it just is just like, it's hard to get excited about something that looks shiny, but you don't know how much it costs. It's like, can I afford it? I don't know. So
maybe that's worth a discussion in a future week. We can talk about marketing, and maybe like, would you rather? What if they just didn't tell us anything until it was available? Here you go, everything, points, you got everything all at once, but you won't hear from us in 6 months. Deuces. I don't know if the world could handle that. I don't know. Ryan, what are you the most excited about?
Along with Will and the Rebel Fangs, also the Rebel Gauntlet. I mean Ezra specifically, Ezra Gauntlet. Good reason to fly Ezra, even though I guess some of the other ships are okay with them, but they were just better pilots or there's bad chassis. That Night Brother title, just really, 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 really good. And yeah, have fun with the Gauntlet config with the little flappy wings.
Flappy wings. Yeah, I'm on that boat. I'm curious about the track and fob. I think that could be fun, and then I get to make sounds while I use it. So that's fun.
Oh, it'd be so cool if like you just had like a beep noise that sounded like the tracking fob, and then all you do is like if you're at range 3 or you outside of range 3, it's like one small beep. Then you can like change the frequency of the faster, like in range 1 beep 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 beep. Beep.
Let's go. I'm sure somebody can get it done.
Answer though.
Okay.
Rook does sound cool, but actually I'm probably most excited to see him play the little floating Mandos.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
we haven't. I mean, we've
little
seen
Mando
those
guys
but
floating
not
around
completely,
shooting
yeah.
at things. So that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, soon we'll have this stuff, and we'll be able to get it on the table. And yeah, we got plenty of X-Wing coming your way. And now that I am out of the massive hole that was Galaxies shipping, maybe soon we'll start talking about Galaxies 2022. What's to come? What's going to be different? But what some fun shenanigans we got coming around the corner, because people are already they're jonesing. They're like, Dion, where my Galaxies at? I need some big online tournaments. What you got? Don't worry, soon. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. Be smart, be safe. Gold Squadron out.